Normal. I've got allergies coming in. Sitting with a guy at a poker table. Start talking to him. And he says, yeah, I used to be fundamentalist Mormon. What that means is the fundamentalist Mormons believe in having multiple wives. He said, my marriage ran into trouble when I decided I wasn't going to have another wife. So I remember sitting my wife down and saying, I'm not going to marry another woman. I'm not going to get married again while you're still around, right? And this was incredibly traumatizing for her. We're not going to go to heaven if he doesn't marry another wife. But she talked to her spiritual leader, and he said, stay with him. He's a good man, even if he isn't going to get married to another woman right now. And that eventually led to them both leaving the fundamentalist Mormon spiritual community that they were in. And I told this to my friend, and she said, wow. And the reason is because for her, it's not normal that if your husband comes to you and says, I'm not going to marry any more women, that you reject him or you get angry or you get upset or, oh no, now we're not going to get to heaven. But for this woman and for this couple, that was their normalcy. And so for them, if you don't marry at least 2 or 3 wives, you're a wicked man and you can't go to heaven. And for us, things are dramatically different. Now, let's look at the world we live in right now. We live in a world where it's normal to look at some numbers on your phone every day or on the computer and know how much money you have, know what your retirement's going to be like, know how things are going to be in the future for you. And that's normal. In the last couple of years, it's been normal for house prices to go up 25% a year. It's normal for us to go to somebody who, in a lab coat, who looks at our bodies and tells us, this is what you need to do, be healthy, take these pills, whatever, and hands us something that they've been recommended by the pharmaceutical establishment. That's normal. It's normal for us to have commercials where we give children, show that people having fun and excitement and connecting romantically are using alcohol to do it. And we have hundreds of those commercials running, thousands of them, over a lifetime. That's normal. It's normal to have TV shows that present light is black and black is white, and all truth is relative, and we're gonna let corporations put whatever messages they want into people's minds, bodies, souls. That's normal. So why is that normal, and how did it get to be that way? How did we get down the slippery slope in the last few years that we don't even understand the basic ideas of life anymore? There are no certainties. For example, I'm a 7-foot Chinese woman and I choose to identify as that. So that's true, right? And that's where we are now. That's now normal. If you've followed the Chinese Cultural Revolution, you will see that they took everyone who was intelligent and everyone who was teaching and they disgraced them. They had the children throwing rocks at their teachers. They would kill anyone who was intellectual because they had to rewrite history. They had to rewrite truth through power, through violence. And that's what's happening now. Through the crucifixion of anyone who speaks differently, through anyone who questions the numbers. And while we're so focused on everything that's happening randomly in the world, we're like this guy's wife. What? If someone comes and says something different. What? You're not going to marry another woman? How can we get to heaven? How can we be happy together? We have to have at least 2 or 3 wives, sister wives, right? That's how it works. And how dramatically different can your thoughts be about marriage, sex, relating, intimacy? What is the truth? And what would you do if you were on a desert island and you got to decide yourself how it was going to be? How would you decide yourself to how to create an economy, an educational system? If you're on a desert island with yourself, with some children, whatever, with your children, how would you structure it? And would you structure it the way we're doing it? Is the tradition, the right way to do it? What is normal? And then the other question is, what is natural? And is natural good and normal bad, or is normal good and natural bad? Do we need to punish the people who are acting naturally because they're not normal? Or should we allow the naturals to exist and do the things they want because maybe our normalcy isn't normal after all. Just a few thoughts.